Yeah. We're good?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, it's 9 o'clock, November the 28th, 2022, and our regular Commissioners Court meeting is now in session. First item on the agenda is roll call by our County Clerk, Mary Jane Zavata. Mary Jane?
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Judge Rathmel.
Present.
Commissioner Mendoza.
Present.
Commissioner Elizondo.
Present.
Commissioner Solis.
Present.
Commissioner Garza.
Present.
We have a quorum, Judge.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Next item is our invocation by Pastor Roger Miller, Commissioners Court Chaplain. Dr. Miller, good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be back with you today. You bow your heads with me this morning. Let's pray. Our Father, who provides understanding, we come into your presence this day with the desire and the need to quiet our hearts and our minds and reorient ourselves toward you as we prepare for the work before this court. Grant us, Father, the ability to turn down the volume of the distractions of the immediate so we may see the future. May your guidance speak today to our leaders as you have spoken in the past. May our leaders be receptive to your voice this day as they seek to serve this community as they make decisions which prepare for the future. May wisdom be granted to them, may patience be theirs in abundance, and may peace come from their efforts to honor you. And in Christ's name, we humbly ask these things. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item, communications, Commissioners. Hope everyone enjoyed their time with their families and long Thanksgiving Day weekend. We had a very good event on Wednesday. That in-service was very nice. We had some very good speakers, and just the generosity of our sponsors was overwhelming. We almost had door prizes, 2 door prizes for each employee that was there. So I want to thank all the sponsors for making this year's event a really memorable one. Any other communications? I do have some COVID numbers. I know that we've had a rash of flu, but COVID is still with us. We did receive another report since the last report from 11/14/22. We've had an increase of 7 cases, confirmed positive cases. We're up to 2,593. Probable cases went up 8. We're up to 1,716 probable cases that are pending, and thankfully no additional deaths. Our vaccination rates continue to, we still have vaccinations going on in our community, mainly at the fire department and the local clinics, and we're up to 6 months plus for 1 dose. For adults, we're up to 72.38%. 6 months to adults fully vaccinated, we're up to 61.56%. The 65 and over, 1 dose, 93.43, and the fully vaccinated 65 and over, we're up to 83.92. So we're still, numbers keep going up on our vaccinations. We'll continue to provide those vaccines. But overall, I think we're doing well as a county. We're not overwhelming this time. Last year, I think we were a little bit in more of a emergency state, I guess.
Judge, I know that I've been getting some calls, and I know Commissioner Arza as well, and maybe all the other parts of the commissioners, about the roads. We do have a lot of potholes on the roads due to the consistent rain that we have, maybe
Yes.
like for a week. And it's not just in our precincts, it's everywhere. When I went to McAllen on Saturday, it was like from all the way from Zapata all the way to McAllen, that there's potholes on the highway.
Even along 83, yes.
Everywhere. So, we're gonna get to it as soon as we can.
Yeah, the weather, certainly we did. Overall, I think we got, just with the mist and drizzle for that entire week, over 2 inches of rain in the county. So it was real soaker, but it did do a lot of damage to our roads and our streets. Coupled with the cool weather, asphalt doesn't do well under those conditions. But yeah, we'll try to get to all those streets, and I think we're still able to get coal mix, correct, from the radio. So yeah, okay. So we'll be plugging those potholes in the near future. Yes.
Judge and Commissioners, I also wanted to mention that we will be having the Christmas parade
this week on Thursday, December the 1st.
Okay,
So that'll take place this Thursday. Of course, the route is always the same. We end up here at the county plaza for the lighting, and there'll be events there, vendors for the community to enjoy. Just wanted to mention that, December 1st.
yeah. Okay, that's pretty sure. Any other communications? Move on to public comment. This section provides the public the opportunity to address the Commissioners Court on any item on the agenda. We're going to go to public to address the court at this time. As I will move to item number 6, approval invoices. In your package, Commissioners, we had invoices from 11/11/22 through 11/22/2022 for a total of, it was
$5,547,937.05. Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
motion to approve as presented. 5 million, what's?
The three, there's 3 point,
I went ahead and issued a check. We wired 4.5 million out of the
4.5.
tax money that I got from Ms. Mendoza to Textbook, because they're paying close to 3%.
Okay.
The rates are just
So
better.
that's actually, we didn't spend.
No, we didn't
No,
spend
the
that
rate, the
money.
rates were better at textbook.
That's fine, that's fine, I just want to make sure for the record that we didn't spend $5 million.
Yes, I'm sorry,
in
yeah, it
2
was,
weeks.
For Thanksgiving.
This is 4.5.
I went through all the invoices, but I didn't get to the total, and I'm like, okay, $5 million.
$5 million.
All
No,
right,
that's a better
good.
interest rate.
But-
We did, I did issue an advance because we did.
That's fine, and-
Money, so, yeah.
It's explained, I'm glad for the record, we're just transferring it to a higher paying fund.
Yeah, it's on page 7.
Okay, so, we got a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item, number 7, approval of checks issued, and from 11/11/2022 through 11/21/2022, we have a total of $5,547,937.05.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve as presented by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We'll move on to the action items. We'll deliberate and consider action on the following items. Number 8 is to approve release of hotel motel tax funds for advertising and promotion for the 2023 Zapata County Fair event. Mr. Garcia, good morning. Yes, Mr. Garcia called me last week and stating that they're trying to get, prepare themselves for the upcoming county fair, and looks like advertising and promotion, you might have some contracts for the court to consider.
Yes, sir, good morning. Yeah, so we have a proposal that came in from Graffiti's Interactive Marketing, and he has been helping us with the fair for the last 10 years.
Okay.
So he's been doing all our marketing, all our advertisement. He has access to all the social media platforms. He has access to the actual website that is under Zapata County Fair. So he does a lot of the, for that, stuff for it, the actual advertisement marketing. So he came in with a proposal of, I'll tell you the total. The total is 22,933, but the optional item of 850 he did not add. That optional item is him organizing all our.
The last page, or the last page.
No, the very last page, I'm sorry. That is him
Okay.
actually organizing the interviews with the queens at the radio stations in Laredo. He does all that, making sure that they are interviewed at 2 different radio stations, which are the biggest ones in Laredo, Z93 and Big Buck, which is 98.1. So this year, the difference is, and I'm gonna refer to the last page, everything else in between is the actual information on the radio stations as far as where they're reaching out to the population. It goes into number of persons in households, a lot of information that they actually use to see where it would be best for them to source this advertising to get to the biggest population. So the radio stations that we're gonna be focusing on this year are La Patrona, which is out of McAllen, La Ley, Guadalupe, and Super Tejano 102.1. Those are also the McAllen area. The 2 main ones that I mentioned was Big Buck and Z93. Now, these other radio stations are through iHeartRadio, which is KTEX, KRYS, and KSAB. And the reason we're doing this is they have a little bit more access, more radius. Some of the entertainers that we're trying to get for this year are popular in certain areas of Texas. Some are more popular in the Valley, others in the Corpus Christi, Kingsville area, and the majority are, popular in the radio. So we're gonna be focusing, trying to get as much advertising as we can from Corpus Christi down, all
So
South
it
Texas.
says here, so you basically, is that 165 60-second spots? on the-
Yeah, so, each radio station will give a certain amount of, spots. La Patrona, out of McAllen, is gonna give us 100 spots that run for 60 seconds. And they'll also be streaming on, Facebook and other social media platforms. The same goes for La Ley, they're giving us 165, spots at 60 seconds. And I will mention that those first two, will be airing for the last 2 weeks before the actual fair. Now.
Okay, so, yeah, okay, so that's when the actual, announcements will come.
Yeah,
The
they're-
advertising will come, right, 2 weeks before the.
2 weeks before the fair. Now, Big Bug and C93 will do it for the whole month, 4 weeks before the fair. Since most of the entertainers that we're trying to bring in are more popular in the Laredo area and always has been, so they'll do it for 4 weeks, compared to the McAllen, Corpus Christi area, we'll do it for 2 weeks. So everybody's giving us a little bit different, as far as, pricing, but they're all 60-second spots. Big Buck and C93 will give us 75. K-Tex is 54 spots at 60 seconds, and then include their 2 weeks. Same goes for KRYS, 54 spots for 6 weeks. I'm sorry, for 2 weeks, 60 seconds for 2 weeks, and KSAP will be doing the same. It'll be 54 spots, 60 seconds each for 2 weeks. Now, they all have different denominations, because the first two, like La Patrona, it's $1,000, but they'll only be streaming for 2 weeks. And that goes for the iHeart radio stations as well. So it's a little bit less compared to La Ley, La Lupe, Big Buck, and Z93. Their advertising, they're also gonna be doing 2 live remotes coming down to the event and actually streaming from here. So they'll be charging a little more, for the grand total of $16,533, and that's just the advertisement alone. Now, we do have advertisement from Graffitics that he does all our websites, all our social media platforms. He takes pictures for the 3 events that he's gonna be here, including the trail ride and, La Madrina, tea that they'll be having for the Queens.
You know, the radio stations, I think that certainly qualifies for outside, advertising, trying to bring people into our community. The local, the design and website development, and, I don't know if that will qualify, Garcia, for the use of hotel funds, because it's mainly for the local, folks.
Yeah, on that, promotion for radio production, website development, that in itself, we actually also advertise on those platforms. That's our website, where we actually put out all the information for the actual fair itself, the schedule of events, and that's part of the Graffitics,
Okay.
what he's asking for. Now, the actual pictures are the stuff that he takes and also posts on the actual website way before the fair as well. So he'll be taking pictures, for example, at the trail ride, posting on our Facebook page, and advertising for the fair with the days and when it's gonna be held, what other events we'll be having that day. March the 4th, I believe, we kick off the actual trail ride, cook-off, and rodeo, the roping basically, so he'll be here for that and then advertising that. on social
Advertising
media
that
for us,
too.
yes.
It's all promotion.
Yeah, it's all promotional.
So it's almost $23,000, and you would need that?
22,783. So I know in the past, the county would actually, provide some funds. I mean, this is what he's actually quoting for the whole proposal as far as doing all our advertising.
Sure.
All our marketing. So yeah, that total will be 23,783.
Well, it says 22,933, and then the optional.
The optional, we include the 850, that 850, like I said, he actually, coordinates the
It's
radio
free labor.
stations as far as having the Queens being broadcasted from the station itself, promoting the actual fair.
We don't have that amount currently in our.
Yeah. We budgeted like 100,000 or 8,000.
Yeah.
So the funds will eventually come in,
I
but right
don't
now.
know if you need it, the entire amount at this time. I think we have $9,000 that came in.
Okay, so what I did talk to Mr. Garcia, and since he's been helping us out for the last 10 years, like I mentioned, he doesn't expect, or he can say, you know, you can give us a down payment, you know, the money will eventually come in, because always has.
Right.
So he's willing to actually come in and do all pictures and all that stuff without payment until we actually get the funds.
How much would he want right now?
He didn't actually specify an amount as
Okay.
far as, you know, he's asking for a certain amount, he didn't quote that.
Okay.
So just as long as we
Well, I
actually have a
appreciate
contract
him
with
working
him.
with Bill on that.
Yeah, he's very lenient and understanding as far as the situation we're currently in, so he's, you know, willing to work with us.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 23,783, depending on availability of funds in the Hotel tax line.
I'll work with him, Judge, and I'll keep all abreast of how much they're asking for to
We
begin.
got a motion by Commissioner Mendoza, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
The motion was unanimous, right? Opposed?
Yeah, we're in that. To, item number 9 is to appoint or reappoint members to the Texas Historical Commission for a 2-year term. We currently have, a group of individuals that, have been helping the county, with their service to the Historical Commission. I move that we reappoint, the members that currently exist. It's, Jose Luis Elizondo, Commissioner Elizondo, Dr. Delgado Garza, Olga M. Flores, Laura Garza, Hector Lopez Jr., Amparo Monte Gutierrez, Roberto Monte, Rosalena Martinez, Anselmo Trevino, Hector Uribe, and Jose Emilio Vera.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second to reappoint the members, the current members of the Historical Commission to another 2-year term. Seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 10 is to appoint or reappoint one member for a 2-year term to Zapata County Appraisal District Board. And we received a letter from the Chief Appraiser stating that, well, Commissioner Garza's, the expiring term, which, he resigned, and I was appointed to, will become January 2021.
Make a motion to
Second.
reappoint Judge
Motion by
Ratner.
Commissioner Garza to reappoint, Judge Raffno, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 11 is to approve payment to Zapata Quick Care Incorporated in the amount of $5,500 for the replacement of a 5-ton system at the Falcon Community Center. And I think we installed this system already during the elections, is that correct, Mary Jane? So it's been installed, Commissioners. I think that Falcon Community Center, when we went to hold the elections, had problems, so we installed a new air conditioner. Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 12 is to transfer $35,000 from the Tobacco Fund 67-800-352 to maintenance and repairs 10-543-457. Chief Arriaga, morning, Chief.
Morning.
Morning, Chief. Morning, Deputy.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Yes, just basically the reason for we exhausted our repairs and maintenance, early on in the budget, because we do have an aging fleet. We do have 4 units, and I had spoken to the judge. We are normally on a cycle where we would always get at least a remount every year. So the last time we got a new unit we're going on 3 years ago. So, and we did get that approval for that grant for 2 brand new ambulances, but they're having issues with getting the cabin chassis, and the grant already went through and everything, and last we got from Sins Martin is that it's gonna take 2 years by the time we get those 2 units, so.
Mr. Gonzalez, the funds are available within the tobacco fund? I'll
Yeah.
make a motion that we approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis.
Garza.
Garza, so you've got 4 units. Do you have one that you're installing a new engine on it?
Well, that was the plan. We have that approved as well. We're also waiting, Judge. I know you told me to go ahead and explore and see if we can get a remount. I talked to Kenny Ponce from the Valley, and he says he might be able to make that possible.
Okay.
He's still getting the figures down so I can present it to the court. So those 20, I believe it was 26 or 28,000 that got approved from the tobacco fund to do an engine replacement on the oldest unit that we have. That was on hold because we had to put that unit back in service because one of our newer units, what do you call it? the rear
Axle.
went out, it locked up on the unit. So that's a pricey, fixture. So we had to take that one out of service and we put back the one that was gonna send to get the engine replacement back in service.
Yeah, I did talk to Chief Arriaga, you know, if he can find one, which I don't think there's any available, certainly the court would consider maybe a proposal to, and we didn't, like I said, remount or get a new one for that last year because we had this grant that was gonna come through for us and it did, but it just, there's no ambulances to
There's
to buy.
no cabin chassis. So before, that was never the issue. They're having issues with cabin chassis, even the rescue, the new brush truck that you all approved through the certificate of obligation, that was been ordered over a year ago, and they still haven't gotten the chassis for it.
Yeah.
Even though it's approved and everything, but they're having issues with cabin chassis.
All large equipment basically.
All large
is on
equipment,
back order.
but basically, so, like the judge said, it was a good thing we got to approve for 2 brand new units through the grant, but it's gonna take about 2 years by the time we get those units in. So the last unit that we got new is going on 3 years ago. So by the time all that goes into play, it's gonna be a total of 5 years by the time the newest, unit was purchased. And we've never gone through that far.
Yeah, we usually
that
get
long
the
in
one,
between.
well, once every year or once every 2 years.
Once every
Because
year,
they
once
would
every
take
2
a year
years.
to get them.
Exactly.
It would take,
So the judge gave.
This
us-
cycle, we missed because we were applying for that grant,
For the
and it
grant.
came through, now we can't get them, and so.
And which is a good thing, you know, the grant came through for 2 new ambulances, it's not gonna be, you know, come out of taxpayers' money, but the whole grant process itself took a couple of months, and then by the time we ordered them, you know, it's gonna take another 2 years. So, before all this, I had spoken to the judge, and he had given me the green light to get, some figures for a remount, but I told him it's gonna be the same thing because they're having issues getting the cabin
I just
chassis.
told Danny to try to find one anywhere, if there's a local entity, that has an ambulance that they can spare, and maybe we could, you know, make.
And-
So the ETA for the 2 new ambulances, through the grant?
48 months.
How much?
48 months.
48 months.
2
Is that an estimation or that's an actual?
That's.
They're giving themselves a 2-year timeline.
A 2-year
because-
timeline, it
yeah.
could be a little bit before, but, just so, you know, it's just basically an estimation.
It's 24 months, right?
24, yeah,
I'm sorry,
48 would be 4
24, I'm
years.
sorry, 24, 2 years.
Yeah, I think we're about 4 months in, so
Yeah.
it's like 20 months, we're still,
So.
well, keep looking, Dan.
Yeah, I'm
Hopefully
still looking, the other option was, these vendors, they would always have the promo units that they use to promote. But when all this went down, I reached out to 3 different vendors and they sold out on those units as well, which they normally never do, it's a
Yeah.
rare thing. But
This
since
matters.
everybody's going through the same issue,
Yeah.
even the radio, I spoke to Chief Hurd, and they had to bring back some old rigs that were down for a couple of years that were just there, and they brought them back, fixed them up to the point, because they placed a large order as well, but they're waiting on that order to get in.
We're still waiting for the part for the grapple as well.
Yeah.
So Mr. Ponce, Kenny Ponce is gonna get back at me for if it's possible, because he said that he got a hold of 3 chassis. So he's figuring out some numbers for us for a remount.
Yes.
So as soon as I get that in, I'll present it to the court and for its
Okay, yeah, we'll have to
and
do
then
that.
we can go ahead and go with that. But for the time being, Judge and Commissioners, just so you all know, the engine replacement that got approved is still not being sent, it's still, I already
It's
spoke to
pending.
Scamilla, it's pending. So if we can get the remount done, we probably will disregard the engine replacement and go ahead with the remount instead. But I'm still getting a timeline and figures, and I will present that before anything.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right?
Sounds good, Chief. Thank you.
Motion is second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. I think you got another item, Danny, to purchase a desktop computer, for the fire department of $1,212.70 from non-department.
Motion ruled.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza, second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, Chief.
We've
I
got,
make a motion to approve 14 and 15.
Motion to approve consent items 14 and 15. We've got a street light of 130 Valle Verdes, San Ignacio, Texas, for Commissioner Elizondo. I did put a note here. I received a call and a video from a parent, he drops off his kids at a bus stop at 16th and Roma, and it's complete darkness. There is no light. I went out there was a private light, there at the corner, but it was a private light that was pointing into the person's property, the homeowner's property, and it's not working, it's not on, I guess he stopped paying. I wonder if we could include a commissioner, you got any left?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. Who's the owner of that street?
I don't know, but it's 16th and Roma, there's a bus stop sign there, the kids get dropped off there and wait for the bus to get to pick
Yeah,
them
but I
up.
need to know the physical address.
16th and Roma is where the pole's at.
60s in Roma, but.
Yeah.
It's
It
a
doesn't
corner?
have numbers, the pole doesn't have numbers.
No, but it's in a corner or what?
Yeah, it's a corner of 16th and Roma. There's a pole there. There's a street light. There's not, there's a security light, but it's pointing into the homeowners, but it's not working, it's off. So the street light, we can't fix that one because it's pointing in somebody's property. We gotta point it into the street. Yeah. So,
I'll check on it, Judge.
okay. So do you wanna approve this or?
Yes, sir.
So we'll add the 16th and Roma.
I'll second the motion on the consent item.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Motion carried.
Judge.
We have a motion to adjourn by
Second.
Commissioner Garza, seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. We are now adjourned. Thank you, Commissioner.